Well, today's the day. I'm going to install a bridge doctor. I got a 12 string and the player plays with double strings, meaning it's not the octaves, they're just double strings. 2 low E, 2 A, 2 D, G, B, E. He's afraid this is going to pull up too much on him. It's already bellying a little bit. See if we can put a bridge doctor in here and maybe that'll help correct it. We got to do something about the action because it is a little high and needs to set up new strings. So let's get these strings off of here and see what it looks like inside. See if we can put that bridge doctor in there. Here's the bridge doctor, JLD bridge doctor. And it's actually pretty simple to install. Here's the subject here for the installation. It's an Ibanez 12 string. And like I said, he doubles up on these strings. So it's putting tremendous pressure. And it's lifting on the back here. It hasn't lifted the bridge, thankfully. It's pulling up the top with it though. So the way this works, this sits under the bridge. This part here goes somewhere underneath the saddle, hopefully right under the saddle, but this has a pickup with the wires running in the middle. So we can't go directly under the saddle, but I'm going to put it right in front of it, about like that. So it gets mounted in this position. A screw goes through here, so it goes into the top and through the bridge, screws into here, and then you put a dowel that goes through the back here and pushes against the end block on this part of the guitar over here. And so as you tighten up this set screw, it puts pressure on the front of the bridge, pulling the back of the bridge down. Just slightly, just enough to kind of pull it into a different position, so it's not going in this direction, it's going more in this direction, flattening it out. So the first thing I want to do is get that hole drilled in the top of the bridge. I'm going to put it right in between these two strings. It's going to center it right there. Comes with a little insert to give it a little decorative finish right there. Let's get that hole drilled. Okay, I got it marked off where it's going to go. First want to do 1/4 inch drill for the dot marker. It says to do this by hand, but don't use an electric drill, it says. I don't have a hand drill, so I'm going to do it just very carefully. I'm just going to go backwards to score it, make sure I'm square. It's going to go real slow and easy. This hole needs to be just deep enough for this little dot marker here. I'm going to go a little deeper. That feels pretty good. I can sand it from there. Now I'm going to take a 9/64 drill bit and drill this all the way through. Still going very easy though. Probably have to go deeper with the 1/4 inch. You got to have room for the head of the screw. Instead of a drill point, I think I'm going to go with a standard drill, so it creates a little taper for the head of the screw. I think I am going to go by hand. I'm just going to use my fingers to do it. checking it for depth. Okay, now I'm going to take the bridge doctor here. Feel the screw coming through. It'll be a little tricky lining it up. I can see through the pinholes. Yeah, you can line it up that way. I see where it's got to go, right there. It's a little tricky finding it. Oh, there's just enough room for that wire to sneak past it. You see inside there's just enough room for the wire to just sneak past that. Now I got the bar centered with the block. Just had to spin it to get it into position. Now it says mark the bar. Now there's my pencil mark. Need to cut it 3/8 of an inch shorter. Put it back in. Reinstall the set screw and put tension on it. That should do it. Okay, so I put quite a bit of tension on that bridge doctor. As far as the flatness, it will hold it in place. We'll see better when we put it under string tension. But it is pulling this, it's putting tension on that to hold it. As far as how flat it is, it's actually sitting pretty flat. But I'm going to keep this under some tension right now. Let it sit overnight before I string it back up. Let me get this perloy dot installed. That sits in there perfect. Just got to glue that in place. Let's put a little bit of the 527. Beacon 527. Let that dry overnight and I'll check it out tomorrow. Here's a good shot of the bridge doctor installed inside the guitar. You can see I had to position it in such a way that it missed the bridge pins and that wire for the pickup. Okay, now it's up to full tension. It's got 2 E's, 2 low E's, 2 low A's, 2 low D's, 2 low G's. Everything's doubled up. So there's a lot of tension on this guitar. And you can see the action super high. If I measure that, it's about 8 and then 10/64. So we've got a little bit of room on the saddle to adjust. And I'm sure there's a pull on the neck. So just looking at that, we got a little bit of room to move on that truss rod. So let's adjust it. You always want to adjust the truss rod first and get the neck flat as can be, or as you want it, and then set the action from there. Now, I don't have the right wrench for this, so got a little trick here. Just use a socket, the right millimeter. I think it's 4 millimeter. So that's about a 1/4 turn. Let's take a look at the relief now. Still got quite a bit of relief. Let's do another 1/4 turn. People say you shouldn't tighten the truss rod with the string tension on it. You know, that's going to be debatable, but I've done it many times. And from my understanding, it's not easy to break a truss rod. Watch me break one now. I don't think so. It's not easy. Unless it's an old truss rod and there's some issues. This is a fairly new guitar, so I'm not too worried about it. Still got some pull to it. Let's go another 1/4. That's better. I'm going to go with that and then set the action from here. Where are we at? Let's see. 7 and 9. 7 and 9/64. So let me do a little bit of math, a little bit of figuring, and I'll see what we got to take off this saddle. Probably a 30-second at least. maybe even a 16th. I gotta write this stuff down. Oh, sorry. 10/64 on the base. I want to get it to 6 and 7. So that means I'm going to remove 2/64 and then 3/64. So we got to double those two numbers. 2/64 is going to be 2/32, and then 3/64 is going to be 3/32. So 2/32 is a 16th, and 3/32 is going to be on the bass side. So this is the bass, this is the treble. That's what I got to remove. I'm not removing all the strings. This is a 12 string, for Christ's sake. So here we got a lot of material to remove. So let me mark this off, remove it, put it back, and I'll show you what that looks like. Hopefully that'll be perfect now. What I usually do, I find stuff that's the thickness that I want to remove. So these two feeler gauges here are 62 thousandths, and then this little square is 95 thousandths. So that's pretty close to 3/32. So I use those to indicate the lines, and then I'll just take a little straight edge, line up both sides, and draw a line. Now, always want to double check. Measure twice. Aha! 106 thousandths. See? So, I want to keep the pencil line and then some. And then this is 64. So yeah, that's okay. So I'm going to take it down. I'm not going to touch the pencil line. I'm going to take it right to it and then put that back in the saddle. So this is the bass side. Okay, you can see that the saddle's quite a bit lower, and so is the action. Those two go hand in hand, surprisingly. Let's see where we're at now. On the treble, 6. The bass, 7. Oh, look, that's right where I wanted to be. 6 and 7. So that math equation 100% works. The one thing I'm noticing, just looking at this nut height, it's pretty high. You want to be around 20 if you can. Let's see where we're at. 25, 28, 30, 32. It's about 32, so that's pretty high. It's about 25, 26, 26 and 32. So we want to take a little bit off that. I'm going to work on the nut a little bit, do a little filing, take that down. That'll probably help with the action a little bit, and definitely help. It's really hard to push down this first position. As I'm watching this, I'm saying to myself, I didn't really cut the nut slots, did I? Why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just remove the nut and take it off the bottom and then re-glue it back down? There must be some reason. Maybe I just wanted to demonstrate how to cut 12 nut slots. Anyway, I guess I'll just speed up this part for you. Cut to the chase. much easier to play now.